Barcelona and Real Madrid, eternal rivals, playing out the latest instalment of El Clasico at the new camp today. At stake, a place in the final of the Copa del Rey. The Blaugrana holds the advantage of an away goal after the first leg finished 1-1. Barca is still on track for a treble this season. Real Madrid may be 16 points adrift of its rival in the race for the La Liga honours, but a victory here could strike a psychological blow in the run home. Good morning and welcome along to the World Game. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Alongside me to see the drama unfold, two men with a sense of a big occasion and a few other things as well. Craig Foster and David Zrilich. Gents, good morning.
How are you, Bash?
It is a big occasion, isn't it? The next, 8 days for Jose Mourinho defines his season and perhaps his next move.
Massive game. This one always is, but there's always the subplots. And for Real Madrid, the league is gone for them. They need to do well in this cup, and then they've got the Champions League next week against Manchester United. Obviously, it was 1-1 in the first leg with that one, so they need to get a result in this game and that game. Probably the one on the weekend, the El Clasico they're playing on the weekend, maybe he would rest players in that one, but this one's important because he needs silverware. He needs to go out on a high. He's got a great chance in this game because I think Barcelona, and the first time in many years, really look vulnerable at the moment. The game against AC Milan in the Champions League, they had trouble there. They didn't create a chance in the whole game, so they'd be worried about that. But these games are always fantastic to watch. And
Foz, for Barca post the San Siro, it's going to be really interesting the way they react to a very poor, arguably their poorest performance this season.
It will be. There's no doubt it must have hurt them because of the simple fact, as David was saying, that they weren't effective in attack. One of the features of that game was the way that Milan shut down Messi, and that's become, this whole crisis now, as you'd imagine. You've got all of the pro-Madrid papers in Spain saying that, he's got issues now, he's not playing as well. You've got the Barca guys saying that, he's still an outstanding player, the best in the world. So there's this real sort of issue around him at the moment. And I think it's a big feature of the game this morning. How do they deal with him and how does Messi perform? But what they're calling it over there is they're attributing this sort of newfound way of stopping him, if you like, or trying to Mourinho, which he started a couple of years ago when he put Pepe in the centre of midfield. Do you remember? I think he had Pepe and Khedira, and he had always 2 or 3 players around him. Well, Milan had 3, sometimes 4, and they call it the cage. So every time the idea is to stop him getting the ball, but when he gets it, to surround him completely with players, which Milan did very effectively.
Do you know what's amazing, though, is that we're even having a discussion about a guy who scored 91 goals last year, set a new record. I don't know how many he's got this year. I think 49 goals in 38 matches, and we're talking about the one game where he doesn't have a chance. It's like, there's this massive crisis here. It's quite amazing. But such is the standards, not only that he sets on himself and the club, but everyone around the world. They expect him to score and just win the game every time on his own. So.
OK, let's judge the personnel for today's match and look at the changes. I think both teams have made 7 changes for this one. So Pinto's been their preferred goalkeeper for the Cup. Puyol, Alba, Xavi, Busquets, Fabregas and Pedro come in. Foz, from the weekend's victory over Sevilla at home.
Yes, so it was a game where the first half was very poor. I think one of the most interesting things is that since Tito Villanova's been away, the record has been poorer. I think in the last 13 games, they've already drawn 3 and lost 2, where they'd only drawn 2 and lost 2 prior to that under 30-plus games.
So Ramos, Varane, Khedira, Alonso, Ozil and Ronaldo part of the 7-man change. They won away to Deportivo La Coruña with Kaká, who was outstanding in that match on the bench. He's showing a bit of resurgence at the moment, so obviously he could play a part in the second half. Yeah,
you just have to look at that subs bench. A lot of quality there, but the starting lineup, full strength, obviously, except for Casillas being out in goals. But obviously, both teams resting a lot of players. This is a big game. There's always a lot riding on it when the El Clasico's involved. So no surprise that they rested all these players. But when you look at the issue with Villanova that Foz just brought up, it was interesting because I was thinking going into that UCL match, you know, there's crucial times when a manager at halftime needs to come in and just say the right thing and get it. They don't have that. They don't have that. He has to, you know, put his messages through the assistant coach, and that's got to have some effect. And it clearly is affecting the players now. So, not an easy situation.
Well, the weekend was most interesting because people have been asking questions about it for some time. Of course, he had his operation, went to New York, then he came back. Then I think in December 19 or something, he then had to go back again. He had the relapse. Since then, their record hasn't been as good and clearly not playing as well. But what this Roura said on the weekend was in the first half against Sevilla, they were down 1-0. And he admitted after the game that he said, Tito told me at half-time what to do. So he was on the phone to Villanova at half-time to New York, asking about the substitutions. And the substitutions were seen in the second half as being much more aggressive. Actually, I was looking at some interesting stats this morning saying that when Roura has had control of the team, he's made substitutions much less number of substitutions and much later in the game. Whereas Villanova was seen as someone, a bit like Guardiola, that when the game is not going well, he changes it immediately. And sometime will bring 1, 2, 3 players very quickly, 2 at a time. And often to go 3 in defence, take off a defender is one and to put on an extra attacker where Roura doesn't. So it's very interesting to see the fact that, you know, I think after the Milan game, even more so now, I think probably Villanova's decided, well, hang on a minute, I need to have a much more direct influence. Now, when it comes to a game like this is the perfect example of games which are so finely balanced on the detail that substitution and tactical changes during the game are absolutely critical.
And their score draw with Manchester United for Real Madrid was followed by a 2-1 away victory to Deportivo La Coruña, a match in which Kaká was virtually man of the match at the Real Zor. So, you know, a good pipe opener. We know 16 points adrift of Barca in La Liga, so their focus really is on the 2 trophies that give them a chance of silverware this season, the Champions League and the Copa del Rey.
Yeah, that first goal, though, would be worrying the way that Lopez was caught out on the near post from that shot. A lot of chances. Look, we already said 7 changes, so that shouldn't have any reflection on the game today. But just for both teams, it's amazing how many chances they do concede. Barca have been conceding a lot of goals. I think they've conceded in the last 11 games straight. Real Madrid the same. But look, the exciting thing about this game is when you have a look at their record. Yeah, Ronaldo came on to set up that one for Higuain. When you have a look at their record in El Clasico, both these teams, there's a lot of goals in it. Ronaldo always scores, Messi almost always scores. So, you know, from that point of view, it's going to be a very entertaining game.
Let's have a quick look at the odds courtesy of tab.com.au. Barcelona 165, Real Madrid 425. Okay, and a draw $4. So, given the fact that Real Madrid have so much to play for, that's a huge discrepancy. What about, let's have a look at the first leg. It finished 1-1, and I'm interested to know your thoughts, Foz. We know that Fabregas scored and Varane was a fantastic player for Real Madrid, but your thoughts on Roura, who's come out publicly almost putting the referee on notice, who refereed the Copa del Rey final 2 seasons back when Barca beat Real Madrid 1-0 at the Mestalla. It was a very physical contest. How do you read those comments?
Oh, I think they're shocking. It was around that time when Mourinho was going from one solution to the next, and at that time it was extremely physical when Pepe was coming into midfield and they were basically trying to rough up Barcelona. That was the way they handled it at that time. And they seem to feel that a lot of those fouls weren't given, irrespective. I thought the comments were absolutely shocking. That's something that Guardiola, for instance, never engaged in. So I was very surprised to see. And to me, it was a good example of an assistant now having to take the reins and having no concept of what the ramifications are of doing that. Because interestingly, of course, off the back of that, Mourinho, who's brilliant at capitalising on any of the... Immediately he pounced on it and said, "Oh, that's great. I'd like to take less. You know, this is the way," because they have, of course, have been critical of him doing that to referees in the past. So I thought it was very poor form.
Yeah, and the quote was, Estrella, the numbers with Undiano, the referee, 2 seasons back or overall aren't good. We still remember that he allowed many fouls in the Cup final. We hope their decisions do not mark the match and they go unnoticed. So he's obviously putting him on notice. In a public forum.
It's silly because go back to Guardiola when he was in charge. You never saw him getting into any of these kind of debates. He just stayed away. Let Mourinho play that game in the press. So you don't want to be drawn into those kind of discussions with Mourinho. But just back on the game, you saw the highlights. Over the past few games, Real Madrid, Barcelona, there's been so many opportunities, so many chances. Normally, when Mourinho first came in, you saw Barca were the one creating a lot more, maybe less to Madrid. But nowadays, there's just so many chances for both teams. So, you know, really looking forward to a great match. But I just think the effect of Villanova not being there, these kind of, you know, with Rora coming out and like Foz was saying, the substitution, it can't be easy for Barcelona. It has to affect the players. You've seen Iniesta, not in his best form. We haven't seen him have a dip in form for a long time. There's few question marks over Messi, although he keeps scoring goals, but every time he doesn't score, people are starting to ask what's going on. But just going to be fascinating.
We just saw the sights from the new camp. They've met so often. I suppose in a way we take this Goliath contest for granted, but it's just such a football occasion, isn't it?
It's one of the greatest in the world, bar none. I think it was just because in the last couple of seasons they've met so often, and they had, of course, that one period where they met 4 times within 21 days or something, and was just an extraordinary. It was almost too much because the tension was too great, and the players were having problems themselves on the field and so on. So it is a wonderful match with so many sort of subplots behind, political, cultural, of course. There's Sir Alex Ferguson with his, I think it's René Mullenstein, his assistant coach. Also, of course, Zubizarreta, the football director of Barcelona there. Everyone's in the stadium. We would love to be there as well, wouldn't we? There's Rosell, the president, of course, of Barcelona. So it is a massive match. As you said before, though, I think is right. For Barcelona, the league is already sealed. This is very much this morning about Mourinho's legacy. And it's reported that he's already agreed with PSG. In fact, the Spanish papers are reporting him as basically having stabbed Ancelotti in the back, saying that he's gone and agreed whilst the guy's still in the job and actually doing quite well, leading Liga by 3 points. So it's seen as a given that he's leaving, and this is now, and the game against Manchester United, this is his opportunity to walk out with trophies, which of course he's traditionally done before at both Porto and Inter.
Okay, for this one, what are you expecting as far as the physicality of the match and the approach by Real Madrid? We know Barcelona's approach and the way they play football, but it's always, you know, it's always been framed, these Clásicos of recent times, on Real Madrid's approach to the match.
It has. It won't be physical like it was a couple of years ago when, you know, Mourinho was searching for different solutions and didn't have the answer. I think this one they'll go out and play their counter-attacking style, but be very, you know, they need a goal, and they've been playing well. They've been scoring goals, so they'll be looking for that, and obviously Ronaldo will play a big key.
Prediction?
I actually think Real Madrid will win. Maybe not win the game, but win the tie. I see goals in it. It can be a 2-2 draw or something like that. Foz?
It's definitely, I think for them, for Madrid, is a very good time to take Barca on. But their record at home, I think they're unbeaten here in the last 22 matches.
22, yeah.
And I think it's going to be a very tight match.
Okay, it's all about to kick off. Let's now head to the new camp and your commentators, Duncan Bishop and Simon Hanley.
This Tuesday night, we're going to get the lineups now as we see Jordi Rauda greeting Jose Mourinho.
Well, there was a little bit of a difference of opinion between the two of them in yesterday's press conferences. Here's the Barcelona lineup. Duncan.
Well, Pinto starts in goal. Dani Alves, Piqué, Fabregas, Puyol, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Busquets, Pedro and Alba are the starting lineup. A real star-studded bench. But have a look at this starting lineup. Up top, Iniesta, Messi, Pedro, pretty much perfect in the terms of what Barcelona will want for attacking Real Madrid.
That's right. I mean, I think the big question was whether Iniesta's best played left up front or played back in midfield. He's been doing such a good job when asked to play that role so far this season. No room for David Villa, as we've said. Alexis has been left out. He's not even on the bench. One's wondering if that's the beginning of the end for Alexis in his Barcelona career. Either way, Barcelona looking very solid indeed. And here's more surprises for us with Jose Mourinho's lineup.
Well, Diego Lopez starts in goal. No real surprise there. Varane, Ramos, Coentrao, Arbeloa in the defence. Xabi Alonso and Khedira protecting that defence. Ozil, Di Maria, Ronaldo and Higuain. Higuain, a rare Clasico start for him.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a surprise as well, but Benzema hasn't been showing his best form of late. What's going to be so important for Real Madrid is how they can cage in Leo Messi. If they can repeat what they did in the Bernabeu, well, that's a great start for them. A point scored. It's standing at 1-1, as you said. That gives Barcelona, initially anyway, from the start, a slight advantage. They've got an away goal. Very few people I've been speaking to this week, though, doubt that Madrid have got the capacity of scoring at least once tonight in the Camp Nou. And, of course, who scores first is going to be a key to this clash.
Well, we're going to observe a minute's silence before this game. The entire Camp Nou is going to fall into silence, and we will as well.
I fou president de la Federació Catalana de Futbol des dels anys 1989 al 2001.
Well, with the beautiful sounds of Pau Casals, the cellist born in Catalonia, one of the most famous Catalans until this generation of Barca players, and the minute silence in memory of the former president of the Catalan Football Federation, Toni Pujol. The football's about to start. Everybody on the planet, it seems, has got their eyes on this one. The referee tonight, well, there's been a little bit of controversy about him, hasn't there, in the last couple of days, with the comments of Roura in the press conference yesterday, receiving a response, an ironic response from Mourinho, as Roura reminded everybody that Malenko's the referee who was in charge of the cup final 2 years ago in Valencia, when Barcelona felt they were kicked off the pitch and Real Madrid felt that they had outclassed Pep Guardiola's team and took that the first trophy of Mourinho's reign.
Well, we are underway here at the Camp Nou. Barcelona shooting from left to right. Andres Iniesta is shooting early. He's got his sights set on a goal in this evening's game. It's Barcelona shooting from left to right. Real Madrid, of course, decked out in their traditional white, and Los Blancos going from right to left on your screen. And we've seen Real Madrid start these recent Clásicos very lively early on, attacking, pressing high, trying to force mistakes. Do you expect more of the same tonight, Simon?
Well, I don't think I really know what to expect. I know Jordi Roura was saying yesterday he thinks Madrid are really going to try and take the game to Barcelona, but so much depends. There's a chance here straight away for Pedro with a lot of space. We'll have to see how Madrid respond.
Here's Pedro. Pedro taking on Coentrao. Coentrao sticks with him. Pass it in the middle. Leo Messi! He almost opened it up.
Well, it's almost a mirror image of what you were just saying. The way Madrid had started recent Clásicos. Madrid really back on the back foot there. Pedro showing some good class. Coentrao not really prepared to take the risk and close him down. And in the end, Messi, well, you can't allow him too many opportunities on the edge of the 6-yard box. And that's opportunity number one.
Messi waiting at the near post, and it was all about the creation from that opened up ball. A bit of width from Barcelona early on, and then Pedro providing a bit of creation. He's rather fresh because he missed most of the game at the weekend. A few players rested, the likes of Puyol and Fabregas not lining up at the weekend. That had been Jose Mourinho's plan, to rest the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Sami Khedira, but not the case against Deportivo La Coruña. He would eventually have to bring them on to overcome a 1-0 deficit. They eventually won the game at Riazor. And here is Iniesta on the ball. Over to Messi. Messi opened it up again to Pedro. Pedro tried to send the ball in, and Coentrao, rather more luck than a chance, gets a hit on the head. Here's another look about Messi chance.
Well, that really was an opportunity for Leo Messi. And what was unusual was seeing him in that latest move with so much space. Khedira was struggling to keep up with him. No sign whatsoever of Xabi Alonso. And Messi probably have mixed feelings about the absence of Arbeloa. I think he had quite a lot of motivation to face Arbeloa after the first leg in the Bernabeu. Maybe that's the reason that he's been left out by Mourinho tonight.
Free kick's going to be swung in by Xavi, and it's headed up by Rafael Varane, and he tumbles over with Carlos Puyol. Gerard Piqué clears the ball out for Barcelona to start again. It's over with Xavi. Xavi, a look up to his left. Says Fabregas, trying to stay onside, and that allows the ball to roll over the top.
They have so many options in attack, don't they? If you see there, both Xavi and Iniesta hanging back. And, well, it was Puyol who very nearly got on the ends of that free kick. And prevented there by good pressure from Varane, one of the classiest young generation of central defenders in the Spanish game right now.
Well, Rafael Varane had an excellent game in the first leg, popped up and scored a goal, but made a couple of key tackles that really defied his age. He's only 19, but Jose Mourinho trusting him for a second Clásico. Very first foul against Madrid called. And it's going to be Xabi Alonso to take. Xabi Alonso, he's been missing through injury for the last couple of games. This was always marked though as his return. He's so important to Jose Mourinho's side.
He is, and there are still doubts about whether he's 100% match fit. It'll be interesting to see if we can get through the 90 minutes.
As the ball is cleared out, Barcelona's fast break is broken down. Iniesta tries to start it up again, and a classy sweep back. Alonso tries to feed Ronaldo. Ronaldo, he's going to take on Piqué. He lays it back. Angel Di Maria perhaps played Cristiano Ronaldo offside. And that will go down as a wasted chance for a lack of communication between Ronaldo and Di Maria.
And very intelligent Gerard Piqué then, keeping one eye on the linesman's flag and just stepping forward there. Pinto getting his first touch as well. You mentioned this being the gala lineup of Barcelona, except for Pinto's presence. He has, of course, won the Cup twice over the last 4 years. There are a lot of talented goalkeepers in the Spanish league who'd be delighted to have that kind of trophy cabinet. And he's performed really well. He had a great game, in fact, in the Bernabeu in the first leg.
Well, on the opposite side, Real Madrid with Diego Lopez in goal, who's just come in for Real Madrid. He could actually win a winners and a losers medal if Sevilla get through to play Real Madrid, having played in the Cup before against Mallorca and against Espanyol. As we look at the run from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Pedro came in pretty hard on him there, but it really is typical of Mundial Mayenko, isn't it, to let play flow, and he's going to try and have a game here with as few stoppages as possible. And so far, that's equally beneficial to Barcelona and to Real Madrid in these opening 6 minutes.
Well, Real Madrid, in their last 2 league games, they've had players sent off. Di Maria and Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos sent off very, very early in the game a couple of weeks ago. He served out his suspension, and Di Maria was sent off at the weekend and will miss the League Clásico. Here is Leo Messi. Leo Messi didn't fancy facing up against Xabi Alonso. Barcelona now just calming things down.
In fact, for Real Madrid, it's 8 sendings off in the last 15 competitive matches, and that's the kind of thing they can't afford to happen tonight.
Well, Well, it's one thing taking on a full-strength Barcelona side, and it's quite another doing so down to 10 men or less. As we look at the shot from Cesc Fabregas, Fabregas will be fresh, having missed the league game.
That was a good shot as well, bouncing low, awkwardly in front of Diego Lopez.
Taken by Cristiano Ronaldo. He tries to turn on Carlos Puyol. Puyol is sticking with him. Now he cuts back to deal with Mesut Ozil. Good play from Carlos Puyol, stopping the incisive pass from Mesut Ozil. And Puyol really screening whoever comes into that back four. Really looking to handle this potent Real Madrid attack. As the ball is sprayed over to Angel Di Maria, who will try and match Jordi Alba for pace, and there's not many people who can do that. Jordi Alba, great clearance from him.
Well, we're seeing a more pragmatic approach from Barcelona in these opening minutes. They know how fateful it can be to lose the ball in possession in the Real Madrid half. There's nobody in the world who can counter-attack like this Real Madrid side. And Barcelona are absolutely determined tonight not to lose the ball, not to lose possession when they're all in attack and streaming forward, because they say, you know, it's like chasing shadows, chasing Ozil and Ronaldo and Di Maria. So that's something they want to avoid at all costs. And I think we'll see a Barcelona playing a much more pragmatic approach tonight. So far, that's certainly the plan.
Ball is with Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba's through ball. It's left by Iniesta, who knew he was in an offside position, and it was a big ask for Cesc Fabregas to get on the end of that. And thus he doesn't. The pressure put on Varane by Andres Iniesta, and it's taken out by Alvaro Arbeloa. Now with Khedira. Sami Khedira, such a metronome for Real Madrid. It's hit forward to Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo tangles with Dani Alves, and the advantage is given to the Barcelona player. Cristiano Ronaldo may feel that he was obstructed on that move. It was a dangerous ball over the top from Sami Khedira, and then Sergio Ramos pays Dani Alves back. He tries to flick it through, but he's hit it far too hard with two players in. It's just that final ball for Real Madrid on a couple of chances they've had.
That's right, the opportunity there for Ronaldo when he was dispossessed of the ball and went down. A bit of a hopeful long ball from Arbeloa. Not the most popular man in the Camp Nou.
Well, Iniesta with on the receiving end of a challenge from Sami Khedira. That was an infraction, and now the game's starting to get a bit of niggle in it early on. Well, we saw a relatively calm Clásico the last time these two faced at the Bernabeu. Not too much handbags, not too much pushing and shoving.
Well, although there was a very clear objective from Arbeloa and Xabi Alonso to try and rile Messi up, and it certainly worked after the game, whether Messi he seemed to control his feelings on the pitch, but in the car park afterwards apparently he wasn't quite so happy. Things like both Arbeloa and Alonso touching his face. I think Messi's really wound up tight for this game tonight, and it'll all be a question of how much he can control that, because certainly this Barca side want to show Mourinho's Real Madrid just what they're capable of. It's a great opportunity for them, but as I say, if they're caught losing possession with a lot of men up deep in the Madrid half, then they're going to struggle, and certainly the approach will be, as I say, to try and avoid that at all costs, hence the participation of Cesc.
Ball brought down by Leo Messi. He's rather clumsily barged over by Angel Di Maria on the far side. Once again, plenty of width on the near side, allowing Dani Alves to swing that cross in. And Messi brought it down, and no doubt about it, a clear foul by Angel Di Maria.
And right on the edge of the box as well.
Well, it's shut down. It's out for a throw-in now to be taken by Jordi Alba. Alba assesses his options. It's with Iniesta. Iniesta, edge of the box. Messi tries to cut it back to Xavi. Madrid closing in and managed to dispossess the Barcelona midfielder. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo will take on Piqué once again. Cristiano Ronaldo, a couple of step-overs. He's brought down in the box. The referee points to the spot.
I think there's no doubt about that. It looks like an absolutely clear-cut penalty on first viewing. We'll have another look. Piqué gets himself a yellow card. He's not one of the players who misses the final with that. This is exactly the kind of start Real Madrid wanted.
And Cristiano Ronaldo, he's well versed.
He's nowhere near the ball, Duncan. It's a clear penalty. Doesn't get a touch. He does contact with Ronaldo, and the referee gets it absolutely right. He's got to point to the spot, and he does.
Spot on from the referee. And Cristiano Ronaldo, he knows full well about Gerard Piqué. They played together in Manchester United. And Cristiano Ronaldo, he had no support. Ozil was the nearest player running in, so he had to go it alone, and he's done ever so well there. And now he has the chance to score in a 6th consecutive Clásico. It's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, so deadly from the spot against José Manuel Pinto. Cristiano Ronaldo scores! Cristiano Ronaldo takes the lead. He goes into the history books, scoring in 6 consecutive Clásicos. It's Football Club Barcelona 0, Real Madrid 1. There's only 13 minutes gone, and Cristiano Ronaldo provided with an easy opportunity from the penalty spot.
Pinto going the wrong way, but very nearly rectifying and catching that with his foot either way. It's a brilliantly taken penalty. And to think that the criticism of Ronaldo until recently has been that he can't perform on the big occasion. His performances against Barcelona the last 2 seasons, absolutely laughing at that theory. He's made the penalty. As you said, he was all alone. He was being forced wide by Piqué. There was very little option he had, really. But when he felt the contact, he went down and made no mistake from the spot. And that is a brilliant result after the first 13 minutes for Real Madrid.
And it means Real Madrid have their away goal. So only in the event of Barcelona scoring and there being no other goals would we go through to extra time. And it's all level in terms of away goals. Barcelona can't go through on them. So that will be a relief to Jose Mourinho and Real Madrid.
Yes, in Mourinho's very happiest dreams, he'll have seen them going up 1-0 on 14 minutes. It's a great start for Real Madrid, and the Barcelona response will be very interesting indeed. They've looked the sharper of the two in the opening quarter of an hour, but once again they're caught on the break by that man Cristiano Ronaldo.
Leo Messi, advantage is played because Jordi Alba had gone down, the ball is in the box. A player goes down, it's Cesc Fabregas. The referee this time does not point to the spot.
Right, but what I don't like there is Arbeloa's response to Cesc. He went down because there was contact. That's not a dive, and Arbeloa's response, waving his finger in his face, is absolutely out of order.
Ball is with Pedro to Leo Messi. Time for Leo Messi to make his mark, perhaps, with the gauntlet laid down by Cristiano Ronaldo. The Cohen-Trapp bumping into the back of Pedro. Perhaps this is when Madrid start to get a little bit more physical, as they know that Barcelona will look for an immediate response. And there's a slip over by Arbeloa as he goes to make the clearance. It may be that he's given away a corner. Here's the incident in the box. Penalty for you, Simon?
No, I don't think it is. It would have been a soft one. I don't think Cesc is actually asking for a penalty. But what, as I say, what I really dislike is the response of Arbeloa afterwards. There's no need for it. And I think the referee got it right.
Corner for Football Club Barcelona. A strong header out from Sergio Ramos. Barcelona being pressed, and they have to dribble back. And they have to make the long pass back to Jose Manuel Pinto. Well, it must be said, Barcelona not coming into this game in really the best of form after their Champions League loss against AC Milan, and Real Madrid is certainly not in the best of form.
Well, that's what makes this game so important. These two teams are going to play each other again in the Bernabeu on Saturday in a league which, well, almost everybody seems to feel is Barcelona's to lose. Madrid, well, Mourinho spent the last month saying it's impossible. They're 16 points behind Barcelona. Even a win in the Bernabeu wouldn't make that much difference. But both sides then face their Champions League second leg. And Madrid comes first, doesn't it, in Old Trafford next week. And, well, there's a scenario where Madrid's season is over in about a week's time. There's another scenario where they can go for the big prize. At the moment, it's looking good, but there's a long way to go.
Andres Iniesta looking to get on the end of that ball. Diego Lopez comes off his line to claim. And we have another look at an incident that happened off the ball.
There's nothing there either.
A bit of play acting from Jordi Alba. And Cristiano Ronaldo goes down. On that occasion, a free kick is given. Dani Alves again tangling with Cristiano Ronaldo. Just caught him on the foot, it appears, as he was attempting to control the ball.
There was clearly contact with 6 of one and half a dozen of another. I think the referee has to give the free kick to the attacking player in that case.
And Cristiano Ronaldo a bit too far out to shoot, perhaps.
Oh, we'll have a go. I'm sure he'll have a go.
Well, he's certainly got the power, and he'll be able to dip this over any wall. It will be Cristiano Ronaldo to go at it from distance. Cristiano Ronaldo, and actually the distance no problem because he manages to get it over the bar. And that will go down as a missed opportunity for Cristiano Ronaldo. Jordi Alba is out in his technical area. Jose Mourinho very rarely ventures off the bench in these games.
I'm certain that Roa won't be too taken aback by that early setback, because I'm sure the game plan will always have been to expect Real Madrid to score at least once. They would have perhaps preferred it not to come quite so early, but there's no reason for Barca to make any really big changes in their strategy, in their game plan. They're still going to dominate possession, they're still going to get chances, and so much depends on the little details, as we always say in a game like this, between two sides like this. Yeah, he falls back into him there, doesn't he? I think you got it absolutely spot on.
Optimistic from Jordi Alba. He just checked to see the positioning of the referee to try and get him out of the corner of his eye. And here's Angel Di Maria going forward. Di Maria's been quiet so far. He's brought down, it appears, by Sergio Busquets. But play will continue, and play is wounded because it's knocked into touch.
Well, Di Maria isn't exactly the best example of players not exaggerating, is he? And I'd like to see that again before making my mind up, but we've seen him so many times diving and rolling around. And, well, if we get to see the replay, we'll be able to see what that is. It looked like a genuine collision. Either way, Barcelona returning the ball.
And they thump it a little bit further up the field, and questions as to, well, there was some sort of doubt as to whether Angel Di Maria would be playing in this game. A lot of people calling for Kaká after his cameo appearance against Deportiva La Coruña at the weekend.
Yeah, but Di Maria is very much Mourinho's man, and for the big games, Mourinho goes with his men.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Another shot from outside the area from Cristiano Ronaldo. He holds up his hand to apologise to a teammate. He could perhaps have played in. I think it was Mesut Ozil alongside him. Well, it was Di Maria, in fact.
He certainly had plenty of other options than that one. His view was always blocked. He was a long way out. The ball was bouncing. That was one time where Ronaldo could perhaps have thought about passing.
Carlos Puyol, a rare venture forward for him. And, of course, he passes it back to Andres Iniesta after getting a little bit of vertigo. Here's Leo Messi. Leo Messi being hounded, but he somehow finds his way free. Messi's pass is blocked by Khedira, and this could start a Real Madrid counter-attack. Well, they've only got 3 players forward, and nobody really seems to be in any rush to join them.
Well, they've got their goal, and so it's not quite the urgency we're seeing from Real Madrid now. It's really working out nicely for them, but that's exactly what Barcelona don't want to see. Leo Messi losing the ball in positions like that. They call it the cage, when Khedira, then Alonso, and then the defenders, one after the other, try and close him in and prevent him from getting access to those wonderful, typical short combinations that Barca do. And I think it's been a problem for Messi of late, playing against Real Madrid. Of course, Milan did it so well against Barca last week. Messi hardly got a look in at all. The danger with putting 3 or 4 men on Messi every time he touches the ball is that you're leaving players like Iniesta, Xavi and Fabregas free of a marker. Oh, that's a good one.
The ball left for Leo Messi. Messi tries to make his way through, and again, as he said, closing them down is the Real Madrid defence, much like the likes of Mexes, Zapata, Abate, Ambrosini and Constant did for Milan. Very much the lead has been set out by Milan for Real Madrid. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's on the left-hand side. Ronaldo tries to move this way in. Cristiano Ronaldo's shot. It bounces in front of Pinto. And once again, a shot from Cristiano Ronaldo. A slightly better position to before, but still had other options.
Yeah, but that's it's different if you keep it on target, isn't it? And that's, I think, by my count, 5 attempts by Ronaldo so far. And 2 of them wasted, but that one was certainly worth a try.
Well, a bit of a collision there. Cesc Fabregas once again going down. Alvaro Arbeloa putting his foot through.
I think he was a little bit fortunate there, Arbeloa, really. He's tackling him from behind, and that's the kind of decision Barcelona are going to want eventually to force the referee to get his hand in his pocket.
Well, it's going to be a throw-in from Alvaro Arbeloa, who's put himself about a bit in the early going. We are 23 minutes in. It's Football Club Barcelona 0, Real Madrid 1. A goal from the penalty spot from Cristiano Ronaldo. And Barcelona on the back foot, but still attacking and looking like a side likely to eventually get the clearer chances and break through.
What they have to do is play their game, Duncan. They're playing in the Camp Nou in front of over 90,000 people. The playing surface is perfect. The conditions for football are exactly what Barca would ask for, really.
Well, Di Maria just nudges off Jordi Alba. And he tries to keep the ball in play. And the referee had a good look at it with his assistant. And it's play on and a chance to attack for Real Madrid. A crossfield ball. It looks as if Sergio Busquets got a touch, but he could only slow it down slightly. Here's Gonzalo Higuain. Haven't seen much of him so far.
Well, Jordi Alba obviously hasn't learnt the old adage, play to the whistle.
Di Maria able to break free with that ball and almost start to counter-attack. We've seen a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo so far. We haven't seen too much of Gonzalo Higuain. Balls with Xavi. Haven't seen too much of Xavi controlling the play with pinpoint passes. We have seen a bit of action on that right-hand side from Pedro and Dani Alves, just spreading the Madrid defence slightly. And we've seen Leo Messi looking for the ball, not waiting for it to come to him. And here he is trying to outsmart the Real Madrid defence. He now opens it up onto the left-hand side. Jordi Alba through ball. Cesc Fabregas will get on the end of it. Fabregas to take on Varane. Does ever so well to get a cross off, but nobody waiting in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I mean, he got the ball into the box, but he should have pulled it back. He had Messi waiting on the edge of the box, and this again, a dangerous counter-attack. Alves absolutely brilliant there.
Perfect challenge.
No, Ronaldo's totally out of order. He must know when the defender hits the ball. That was a brilliant challenge. Ronaldo not making himself any friends in the Camp Nou there, although then again, it's a difficult task.
Well, very reminiscent of Rafael Varane's challenge in the first leg, which was precision tackling, great defending at its finest. And nothing wrong with that from Dani Alves. Perfectly halting the run forward from Cristiano Ronaldo. The ball's with Leo Messi. Leo Messi, so smooth on the ball, jinks his way inside. Even slipping over, he manages to play a great ball to Jordi Alba to leave for Iniesta. He's with Fabregas. Fabregas gets a deflection off Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso sticking with his Spanish national team counterpart. He's with Fabregas again. Barcelona now linking the passes on the edge of the area. Played through, here's Sergio Busquets. Busquets just holds it up. He's headed off by Coentrao. Is going to fall to Messi. Messi, uncharacteristically, not a good first touch from him. And Varane tries to dispossess Messi, and Messi just sees this as a challenge to keep possession of the ball. He's doing it all by himself. And now Iniesta, wide of a far post. A right-footed shot from Andres Iniesta, but great play in the build-up from Leo Messi.
That's much, much better from Barcelona, and that's what they have to do, just keep playing the game. They're going to get chances eventually. Obviously, it's not quite the same as playing against Sevilla in the league, with all respect to Sevilla. This is Real Madrid, and I'm very surprised at Ronaldo's reaction there. Very surprised indeed. But that was much better from Barcelona, and that's clearly what they have to continue trying to do.
Well, perhaps a frustration for Ronaldo, born of the occasion. But certainly a good challenge from Dani Alves. He can really have no complaints about that once he watches the replay. The ball's with Di Maria. Di Maria through to Arbeloa. It's taken away. Barcelona haven't got the ball clear, though. Real Madrid have it with Mesut Ozil through to Higuain, and he's offside. Gonzalo Higuain caught offside. Mesut Ozil attempting the through ball, and he was only just off.
Yeah, he's only just offside, but it was still pretty clear, and this is where Real Madrid suffer. If it's not a counter-attack, if they haven't got the defence on the back foot, they do lack the creativity through the middle.
Well, Jose Mourinho wasn't happy at all with the initial performance against Deportivo La Coruña. They were lacking that change of pace, they were lacking that intensity. They've got a bit of that with the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, who can change up the pace of the game. As now they try and burst forward, but really this is just being played at one pace for Real Madrid. It's lightning speed and trying to hit on the counter. Sergio Ramos, his pass to Ozil. Ozil, a deft little chip, but Carlos Puyol meets it. The captain, fantastic, meets it in the middle, still bandaged up, of course, from that collision late on in the game with AC Milan.
Barcelona starting to combine a little bit more. Fabregas, Iniesta and Xavi now, as they start to try to dominate the midfield, and pressing Madrid deep as well.
There's a run forward from Mesut Ozil. Ozil tries to drink inside. He goes past Gerard Piqué. Didn't look as if there was contact there. The referee thinks likewise. It's with Xavi. Xavi's going to wait for the run. Plays the soft pass and receives it back from Pedro. Fabregas is one of the furthest men forward. Leo Messi is forward. It takes a deflection off Xabi Alonso, and it's back for Diego Lopez. Well, about half an hour gone.
It's a big game for Xabi now, Duncan. I think if Xabi can really take control, he's got the experience, he's done it so many times, he's going to be absolutely vital for Barcelona tonight.
Well, Xavi equalling the appearance of Raúl and Fernando Hierro in Clásicos this evening, his 36th. And we look at the possession stats, so we could pretty much expect that Barcelona would dominate possession. They do so 68 to 32, and that will not really be of any concern to Real Madrid. We'll play through with a 1-2 play to Dani Alves. Alves cuts it back. Cesc Fabregas scuffs this shot. And it's out with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo will look up, taking on Busquets. He moves his way inside, where there's more options available to him. He opens up the play. The pass to Ángel Di Maria. Ronaldo looks to make his run. He decides to check. And Fabregas almost dispossesses Xabi Alonso. Now Madrid trying the slow build-up. This is much like what you said. How can Real Madrid change the pace when they're building up so slowly? Here is Ángel Di Maria. Di Maria a look up. He almost looked backwards to look for support. Ozil to Ronaldo. And it takes a big deflection off Piqué, but a little bit too slow in the build-up.
Well, they don't feel comfortable when they're facing 4 or 5 players on the edge of the box, Real Madrid, and they never have done. But under Mourinho anyway, certainly Barcelona have learned their lesson there and will be trying to avoid exactly those kind of counter-attacks that caught them out for the first goal.
Ángel Di Maria is down once again.
Well, on that occasion, no surprise really. That's a nasty one on the ankle by Jordi Alba.
Cristiano Ronaldo firing off another shot. He's not in double figures yet, but he's closing in on it. Had a wide variety of shots on goals so far in this game. Xabi Alonso is going to take this free kick, and he takes it short to Sami Khedira. Over onto the far side where Angel Di Maria is back up and running. A risky ball over to Sergio Ramos with Pedro lurking. Coentrao looks up. Coentrao tries to spread the play. Jordi Alba manages to bring the ball back under his control. That's great defending from Jordi Alba. Here's Busquets. Ball with Leo Messi. Messi again moving inside, again skipping over a challenge, leaves it for Xavi, and again it's sprayed over to that right-hand side. Barcelona playing with a bit more whip than they were doing in the first half against Sevilla. In that game, of course, the arrival of Christian Teixeira was key just to opening up the Sevilla defence, and that's what Barcelona are trying likewise.
They need to get Alba more involved now on that left flank, I think, in attack. It's a good ball from Messi.
Messi to Dani Alves. Alves, the cross into the box, and Diego Lopez catches it cleanly. Barcelona had players in the box running in. And Cristiano Ronaldo, on a couple of occasions so far, has been the player to release the ball out of the defence, just waiting for the runners forward. But as I said before, we haven't seen too much of Gonzalo Higuain yet, and he will need to have a big game. Ronaldo can't do it all by himself as much as he will try. With Dani Alves. Now Ronaldo, sorry, with Pedro taking on Ronaldo with the pass along to Dani Alves. Alves plays it short. Real Madrid let Pedro into the box. Pedro is pushed over. And no penalty is given.
I have my doubts about that one. That looked as if he was totally bundled off the ball there. Some brilliant skills from Pedro, and I'm surprised the referee didn't have a longer look at that.
Well, Pedro found some space, made the run past Xabi Alonso.
That was a brilliant couple of touches. It's a penalty. It's not a shoulder charge. He gets him in the back. He bundles him off the ball. No intention of going for the ball whatsoever. Maybe, you know, in terms of English football, it would have been a soft give, but he's got no intention of going for the ball there at all.
There a run around from Jordi Alba. Delicious play from him again. Rafael Varane slips, and Fabio Coentrao has to take it away from Pedro on the header. Straight forward, and the referee getting involved with his obstruction, and Jordi Alba is shouting at the ref. Undiana Mayenko. Clearly unintentional from the referee, but he was in the way there for the Barcelona move.
Yeah, Barcelona have to try and avoid getting caught up in the controversy with Undiano, though the problem for them there isn't the fact that the referee's got in the way. It isn't even the fact that the referee hasn't given the penalty. It's the fact that when the ball came over, there's nobody in the box to receive it, and that makes me wonder whether David Villa might see some role in this game sooner rather than later.
Iniesta gives the ball away to Fabio Coentrao. Coentrao over the top where Cristiano Ronaldo will take it first time with the hit. Gerard Piqué missed out on his attempt to clear. It was right behind him. Barcelona finally managed to sweep up though. Coentrao with a clean challenge, it appears, according to the referee. Well, players going down left, right and centre, but Barcelona have one player who's staying up, and it's Leo Messi. Leo Messi tried to free up Cesc Fabregas, who was all alone on the left, but Rafael Varane deals with it.
That was so untypical from Leo Messi. Should never have missed that pass. As you said, Fabregas was totally alone.
Cristiano Ronaldo's shot is parried out by Jose Manuel Pinto. Ronaldo allowed to go past and launch that one with his left foot. Another challenge on Coentrao. It's not the slickest. And there's Pedro on Xabi Alonso. Those two colliding later on with the penalty appeal. Taken away from Coentrao by Xavi. And it comes off the Portuguese. No Marcelo for Real Madrid. He's been left back in Madrid to continue his fitness training. Dropped out of the squad at the last minute, Carvalho and Morata. Well, that should be of no real concern. I wouldn't have imagined they would have featured in too many minutes. And the ball is over with Andres Iniesta. Iniesta glides past Di Maria. He glides past Arbeloa.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Here is Leo Messi.
He's given a free kick. He wanted to wave play on. He gave him the advantage for a little bit first. But to my mind, that's a good decision by the referee. Who's he booking, I wonder? It's Arbeloa. That's a big problem for Real Madrid's central defender. Full-back, I beg your pardon. And, well, I think the referee's got that right. But what a brilliant run from Andres Iniesta. He's a little bit unfortunate, actually, because he does contact the ball, doesn't he? But he coming from behind, and I think the referee got it right. But it's sublime class from Andres Iniesta, and he's one of the men Barcelona really need to get involved tonight.
Well, it's a free kick in a dangerous spot, because we've seen Xavi Hernandez score from this sort of range. We've seen Leo Messi score from this sort of range. And it's all set up for one of them to take. Diego Lopez will have to be at his most alert. That's when finally the wall is taken back and a free kick is allowed to be played. I think this is going to be a Techia classic over the first leg, if the early indications are anything to go by. Well, we wait. Diego Lopez waiting on his post as he tries to organise the wall. He's just moving Xabi Alonso a little bit over. Cristiano Ronaldo and Khedira have come over as well. Will that leave some space on that right-hand post?
Yeah, I think this is set up slightly better for Xavi, really. When Messi's in the team, obviously you look to him. But Xavi, I think, may well be taking this one.
Diego Lopez stalking his line.
Look at Jordi Alba there in the penalty area to the left as well.
Well, Xavi is a candidate. Messi is a candidate. There's going to be Leo Messi!
Well, it was so close, wasn't it?
Well, about half of the fans in the Camp Nou who have a somewhat restricted view will have thought that one went in.
Yeah, I thought he had myself, I've got to say. Does he get it underneath Alonso? That's poor work in the barrier there from Xabi Alonso. Goes right underneath him, and that being, let's say, a foot or 2 feet further to the right, Xabi Alonso would have been hanging his head in shame there.
Well, Diego Lopez had spotted that danger. He'd put all the Madrid players on that post. And Leo Messi decides to go there anyway, and very nearly breaks the Barcelona duck. Cristiano Ronaldo is brought down. Advantage is played. Di Maria's shot is blocked. Xabi Alonso has a shot. That's also blocked. Here's Alvaro Arbeloa. Arbeloa decides to go down under the challenge of Andres Iniesta, repaying the favour from about a minute ago, and there's that a yellow card that's shown to Andres Iniesta.
I think it's to Puyol. He seems to be looking at Puyol. I'm not quite sure why.
Perhaps for that initial challenge on Cristiano Ronaldo, but that was some moves back.
It can only be for protesting the referee's decision earlier, I think. Cohen Trauss seemed to go down under no challenge at all. You could hear his shout even above the 90,000 people in the Camp Nou. Maybe you're right, maybe it was not a very nice close-up there, maybe it was Ronaldo's, the foul on Ronaldo earlier.
Free kick is taken, sent into the danger zone. Sergio Ramos almost gets on the end of it. Well, the last game he played, he popped up with a goal. And if a yellow card's for that, I'm not really sure.
Unless it's dissent, I can't see why he would get the yellow card out for that. Not a referee is notoriously willing to allow firm challenges.
Here is Andres Iniesta. Iniesta, another effortless glide through. And an offside is called against Jordi Alba, who'd been on the overlap. You said early on Jordi Alba needs to get more involved in the game. He has come a little bit more into the game before the end, but they really need to utilise him down that left-hand side.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Iniesta starting to take control a little bit more. That'll concern Mourinho at half-time, I imagine. And I just wonder if there'll be a change with Iniesta moving back into central midfield alongside Xavi and the introduction of David Villa. I'm sure we're going to see that at some stage. depending on the way the result goes, of course.
Pinto collects there off the header, and we have less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. Real Madrid still leading by 1-0 at the Camp Nou. And well, handball called against Ronaldo.
Well, it is, and you know, quite frankly, that's a yellow card in Spain, isn't it? No, it isn't a handball.
It's the high foot from Cristiano Ronaldo. Dangerous play.
Well, it's a good job the referee saw it, because yellow card would mean Ronaldo would miss the final, and nobody wants to see that, obviously.
Well, the Barcelona fans would quite like it if that eventuality didn't come up, if Cristiano Ronaldo was not playing in the final, but
it would mean Barca aren't playing in the final as well, so I don't think they're going to be that bothered either way. Yeah, that would really be being petty-minded.
Here is Xavi. Well, just a couple of minutes to go until half-time. Would you make the changes straight after half-time, Simon?
No.
Here is Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba is met by a challenge by Angel Di Maria.
He's working really hard in defence, Di Maria. All credit to him. He's got back 2 or 3 times now. He's one of the few Madrid players who can match Alba in pace, and he's done really well to cover there.
What he has done is given away a corner. Only the second of the game, both going to Barcelona, and Carlos Puyol was almost left in acres of space as he ran towards the ball, and the referee has called for an infraction.
Xabi Alonso wanted to take that really, really quickly, and Diano saw him and told him he had to move back a few yards. And Barcelona have to watch that. And that's the free kick that's been given. It's, if you like, a well-worked set piece, but it involves a foul.
The body check on Varane by Gerard Piqué. That is why Carlos Puyol was in so much space when he went for the ball. Well spotted by the referee and his assistant. Headed forward to Mesut Ozil. Well, that play is going to be a Barcelona throw-in. Taken by Dani Alves. Another appeal for handball. There's Cristiano Ronaldo. The pass to Ozil. Ozil manages to dig it out. And it's over the top, but a poor ball that goes out of play. The intended target was Angel Di Maria.
Well, you have to say, as we near half-time, that Real Madrid deserved their 1-0 lead on the facts of what we've seen in this opening half. Barcelona just haven't quite got it together so far. Madrid seem to just want it a little bit more every time there's a loose ball. It wasn't the case for the first 10 minutes or so, but since Madrid's goal, they've really been pretty much in charge. Barcelona, when they're on the ball, when they build up these long possessions, always look dangerous, of course, but so far they haven't really troubled Lopez too much in goal.
Well, there's a player down. I think it's Jordi Alba on the far side. The ball sits out. Gonzalo Higuain to Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo can't get past the combination of Dani Alves and Sergio Busquets, but the play is still on. Angel Di Maria looks up, plays into Cesc Fabregas, who didn't seem to know too much about that.
Oh, that's terrible from Puyol.
Intercepted, and Carlos Puyol makes amends by making the clearance. And it's picked up by Xavi. Xavi adds a bit of calmness to the move. There's still Jordi Alba down on the touchline. And we're into a stoppage time. There's only going to be a minute played. We're into that minute now. Oh, Jordi Alba.
Well, he gets a knee there. That used to be called a dead leg in the school playground. And again, it's that response of Arbeloa that really makes my blood boil. He's got away with the foul. He doesn't have to do the theatre of telling him to get up, that he's pretending, because he's not. And that really does hurt, we know that. Ramos gets involved too. This will suit Real Madrid if the game gets broken up, as they say over here. It's going to be to their advantage in the second half. The referee blows for half-time. One or two unpleasant little moments there that I think are unnecessary. No need for Ramos to get involved whatsoever. Although Alba, if he is really hurt, should get off the pitch when you're that close to the touchline. So 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, you could say.
Well, here is the scoreline at half-time. Cristiano Ronaldo's penalty. The only difference on the scoreline between these two teams is Barcelona 0, Real Madrid 1. A second half to come.
Really, Song no, Mascherano no, these guys going well. Iniesta playing his best game for a short spell. I mean, he's just had an unbelievable year. He's been close to the best. But the last couple of really key games, and, you know, you always talk about a team being in form in the important time of the season, and I think for Barca, it's just unfortunate right at this moment when the big trophies are starting to come online is when they've just had this mini dip. So Iniesta is back today, that's positive for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see Villa or Teo, who likes to get in behind all the time, so maybe Teo for Pedro. And Teo also likes to score goals, coming in off that left-hand touchline. And he's been playing very well lately. For the others, Modric has been underwhelming for Madrid. In fact, he got taken off on the weekend when they rested all those players. Kaká has just come back and did very well in that game. So you wouldn't be surprised to see him come on, and what a player to be able to bring on.
And what about the Clasico's loaded weapon for Real Madrid, Pepe?
Well, well, he's always an option there, but I think Mourinho
laid
would be,
on if he wants to protect.
Yeah, he'd be very happy now with the way things are going. And just when Foz was saying the pressing about Madrid earlier, how well they were doing it in midfield, we saw one of the scenes where Di Maria tracked Jordi Alba all the way back there, and it's just amazing work rate that they do, not only when they're transitioning forward, but also defensively, and they're doing a great job, which is making it difficult for Madrid. This was interesting when we saw the other angle, because it looked like initially it was just inside, but I think you can see his left foot was outside when he clatters into him. So the referee's done a good job, apart from bringing down Messi in the box himself. He's actually done very well.
So the real interest will be in Mourinho's approach in this second half. Okay, 1-0 up, you've got the tie now in your hands. What does he do now? Does he bring on Pep and try and close up after 20 minutes, which then risks Barca having even more control? So really, I think, you know, the way he handles this is going to be very important.
1-0 to Real Madrid, 2-1 on aggregate. Second half of the second leg at the Nou Camp. Back to our commentators now, Duncan Bishop and Simon Hanley.
He won the penalty, he scored the penalty. Apart from that, let's hope we can see something a little bit more classic from the Clasico.
Well, Real Madrid to kick off the second half. They're going from left to right in this second period. The difference 1-0. It is 2-1 on aggregate in Real Madrid's favour. It was chested down by Sergio Busquets. It's with Gerard Piqué. Piqué to Busquets. No changes from either side starting off the second half. Played by Jordi Alba. Sliding challenge from Gonzalo Higuain on a few meaningful contributions from him so far in this game. Real Madrid will need a little bit more from him in the second half. Here's Fabregas. Short pass from him. Left to Massa. Terribly left by Sergio Busquets. Luckily, he wins it back. Real Madrid now with a chance to counter. They've only got the 3 men forward, but they're pacey players. Well, Angel Di Maria is coming over on the far side. Di Maria has to check his run and appeal for a handball, but not given by the referee, Mr. Undiano Mayenko. And Real Madrid, we saw this in the first half, not so good at the slow build-up. This is what they'll have to do right now. All given away. So many sloppy passes in the early going. Here's Leo Messi. Messi taking on 4 players. He skips past one. Rafael Varane manages to make some sort of contact. It almost falls back into the path of Leo Messi. And finally, Real Madrid get it clear.
Well, it's great work from Messi, and it does get the applause ringing around the Camp Nou. But he must be wondering if he's playing all alone. He's absolutely alone in the penalty area. We're so unused to seeing that from Barcelona. I find it very difficult to understand that nobody's followed Messi there on that run. Okay, he's got a lot of pace on him, but he was surrounded by 4 Madrid players in the box and had no support at all. David Villa warming up on the sidelines.
David Villa played a more central role here at the weekend against Sevilla and had much success with it. he would certainly not leave Leo Messi all on his own up front. David Villa loves getting forward and contributing, and he loves the shot himself. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo, a couple of step overs, tries to get past Alves. He does get slightly past him, but Alves recovers, and it's going to be a goal kick. Dani Alves tracking back on Cristiano Ronaldo, who goes forward on his own. He's got no Marcelo in support on the overlap, so Ronaldo really having to break out all the skills on dribbling so far. Pinto's ball upfield. Fabregas, it rolls down his head. And Arbeloa with the ball back to Diego Lopez. He doesn't even give the fans a chance to boo. Play forward. Ozil is stalking Sergio Busquets. But it's coolly played around the defence by Barcelona.
Yeah, Madrid are hanging further back in the opening moments of this second half. You can see very clearly the two lines of four. One on the edge of the one on the halfway line, the other one about a third into their half.
Here is Andres Iniesta. Iniesta turns Angel Di Maria inside out. Di Maria recovers. And Di Maria breaks free with the ball. He has to release it at some point. Angel Di Maria finally does, and when he does, it's in front of Mesut Ozil. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo clattered into Gonzalo Higuain. That just sums up the Real Madrid attack so far. Here is Ozil still on the ball. Has to play it back, and this is where Madrid will be tested, trying to break open this Barcelona defence. There, a through ball, and it's a great one. It's to Fabio Coentrao. Coentrao with the shot. It was saved by Pinto, who fumbled it slightly, but then recovered.
Well, I'm sure more than one of the Barcelona fans in the Camp Nou tonight was delighted to see that was Coentrao and not another Portuguese latching onto that diagonal ball.
Here is Xavi. Cesc Fabregas. Quiet in the first half. Needs to turn things up a notch in the second period, Cesc Fabregas. Was rested against Sevilla, so he'll be fresh for this one. Mesut Ozil takes it past Xavi with a Xavi-esque pirouette turn. And there's a foul committed by Pedro on Mesut Ozil.
Nice little bit of combination play there from Madrid. First time, almost like a Barcelona-style rondo. And there, Coentrao really had a good chance. His first touch was a poor one. The control was bad. And in the end, just forced wide and unable to really test Pinto. Sergio Busquets is having a poor game for Barcelona, though, tonight. It's so unusual to see him losing so many balls.
Well, Sergio Busquets, another player who was almost fully rested. He only came on late against Sevilla. Alex Song had taken his place in front of the defence. But Busquets seemingly missing a beat so far. And Barcelona, a bit of a shambles in defence as Dani Alves out of position, took the ball away from Gerard Piqué. Here is Fabregas. Iniesta. Xavi looks up, tries to find a pass. Khedira is right on him. Piqué plays to Iniesta. Iniesta has dropped back. Iniesta turns now on Xabi Alonso. He gets away from Xabi Alonso. He frees up Fabregas. Fabregas would have a cross on, but there's nobody waiting in the centre. Now it's with Jordi Alba once again. Pulls it back. The ball comes off Ramos. Comes off Ramos again. Coentrao. He gets the header to it. And another shot, and it's parried by Diego Lopez. And there was a reflex, a rebound shot. That was sent over the bar.
Yeah, well done there by Arbeloa. He had to win that ball and clear it. But that's just about the first time we've seen Barcelona starting to move the ball about with more fluency.
Ball into the middle. Gerard Piqué gets his head on it. And he sends the ball over the bar.
It's interestingly poised now, though, Duncan, because Madrid have got the scoreline they want. They've got their away goal, and the temptation is going to be this, to hang back a little bit more, to press, not to press so deep. And quite frankly, Barcelona feel a little bit more comfortable against Madrid when they defend them like that. So it is evenly balanced in a way. Obviously the advantage for Real Madrid, but Barcelona is starting to look, just over the last couple of minutes, a little bit more like themselves, although less precision than we used to seeing.
Gerard Piqué brings the ball out of the defence, has a look up, plays a short pass to Xavi. Pedro in the middle, leaves it for Messi. And Pedro having a couple of complaints about Xabi Alonso, who once again makes contact with him. Is Iniesta to the feet of Cesc Fabregas. Arbeloa has left his position in order to cover Fabregas. He now moves over to cover Iniesta. Poor control from Cesc Fabregas when he'd found a way in, and Rafael Varane gets the ball almost clear because it's hit into the path of Iniesta. Now Madrid managed to scoop the ball up. Barcelona comes straight back. Here's Messi. Messi tries a through ball once again. Fabregas' first touch lets him down, and there was a late challenge as Sergio Ramos cleared the ball. Yeah,
it's a 50-50 ball. Ramos had the advantage, and I think Messi just caught him. Don't think there's any bad intention there. Just clipping him. In fact, Messi maybe even tries to withdraw his foot. The referee quite right to call for that one. But that's the second move in succession from Barcelona, where quite frankly Madrid have looked at 6s and 7s. They've dealt with them so far, but there doesn't seem to be too much order there. What there is are about 9 or 10 white shirts in their own penalty area. I think Barcelona are going to take some comfort from that. They've still got a long way to go. Not even 10 minutes have gone in the second half, and so much is going to depend on what happens in the next 15 or 20 minutes. If Barcelona can get an equaliser, game on.
He blasted off Cristiano Ronaldo. It falls for Mesut Ozil. Ozil to take on Dani Alves. He pulls it back for Ronaldo. Ronaldo gets into the box. Ronaldo looks as if he was waiting for a challenge. None was forthcoming. He didn't have too many options for his cross. And Jordi Rauer perhaps thinking about substitutions in a few minutes. They like to make those changes around the 60-minute mark.
Well, David Villa's very definitely getting ready, and you've got to wonder whether Fabregas is the natural man to go off.
Madrid corner, headed out by Gerard Piqué. Taken by Fabio Coentrao. Look to play that over the top, and once again it's a 50-50 challenge from which one player comes the worst off. Sami Khedira and Carlos Puyol colliding on that occasion. Advantage given to Barcelona. On to the right, here's Leo Messi. Look up from Messi, and here's Xavi. Xavi on the ball. He's not been able to play too many through balls, Xavi, so far in this game. Hasn't been at his most incisive with passing. He's the furthest man forward now. And that ball takes a deflection and goes out for a corner.
Yeah, Messi was waiting for it. It was quite a useful header, really. And the Camp Nou beginning to chant for David Villa. What a shame they can't have 12 players on the pitch, because it does mean somebody's going to have to come off.
Corner is taken by Xavi. Comes out, Iniesta will hit it. He slams it into the ground, and it bounces off a white shirt. Madrid once again managed to put a body in the way.
Well, it's not just one body, that's the thing, isn't it? They absolutely packed the Madrid penalty area once again.
Messi trying a nice little 1-2, and now Madrid go on the counter-attack. It's Angel Di Maria. He's only got Carlos Puyol, and Cristiano Ronaldo is free. Di Maria's left him behind. It falls to Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo makes it 2. Angel Di Maria created it. It was all about the Argentine, and Cristiano Ronaldo scores a brace at the Camp Nou.
Once again, Football Club Barcelona making the mistake that they're criticised for. If they're criticised for anything, it's that. You can't leave yourself so wide open when you've got players of the pace of Ronaldo and Di Maria just waiting for a long clearance to latch onto. Carlos Puyol, bless him, doesn't have the pace to keep up with Di Maria. Very few people on the planet do. And he leaves him metres and metres behind, in 10 metres ahead. Puyol does really, really well, but there's nobody covering Ronaldo. Higuain's waiting on the penalty spot, 3 blue and red shirts, and Real Madrid go from 10 men in the penalty area to 2 or 3 men in their rivals' penalty area in what, 5 seconds? It's not the first time Barcelona have been caught out like that by Mourinho's Real Madrid. It's getting to be a little bit boring to see it happening so much if you're a Barcelona fan. For Real Madrid, that's absolutely brilliant. Barcelona not just up against the ropes, but absolutely drowning right now.
Well, it looks as if the arrival of David Villa prompted by that Cristiano Ronaldo goal. His arrival is imminent. Ronaldo has made it 2-0 to Real Madrid, a real advantage for the visitors now. They've scored 2 away goals. We will not be seeing extra time in this game. Real Madrid 2-0 up. And the ball is with Sergio Busquets. Barcelona need a rapid response, and as you said, credit to Carlos Puyol. He spotted that Di Maria was going to make the run. He was the only one who did so. And Real Madrid devastating going forward, provide the finish.
And they're going to be absolutely comfortable now. You can see very, very clearly the 2 really close lines of 4. It's to a lot of these Madrid players, they're thinking job done, or at least halfway done, and there's the substitution we expected, Villa for Fabregas.
Well, this may be Andres Iniesta dropping back into the midfield. David Villa to move to that forward spot, just to create another outlet for Football Club Barcelona. Once again, Real Madrid stream forward. Cristiano Ronaldo has now gone over to a byline. He brings himself back inside, and there's a sliding challenge.
But it's a nightmare scenario for Barcelona now. They're playing with 3 men at the back, throwing everything forward, and Madrid, if there's anybody who can soak up this kind of pressure for half an hour, it's Real Madrid. And don't be surprised if they get 2 or 3 more counter-attacking chances before the game is over.
Angel Di Maria, the chance looked to have evaded him, and it fell to Cristiano Ronaldo. He was always going to shoot, and he coolly puts it past Pinto to bag a brace so far in the Clásico at the Camp Nou in the Copa del Rey semi-final 2nd leg.
Well, Barcelona, you can you see it on the players' faces. They're absolutely lost for words. And I think deep down the problem is they know that it's been a poor performance from them. And unless they can pull themselves up in the remaining half hour, this could become a very long night indeed. Real Madrid, remember, have a lot of desire to finally finish the cycle, humiliate Barca.
Ball over the top, Diego Lopez comes out with an unorthodox clearance. He gets his head to it after getting ahead of David Villa. Madrid once again regain possession. Barcelona, they have dominated possession, but not in the fashion that they would have liked. They've not looked assured on the ball at all.
No, when you see Xavi and Iniesta in midfield losing possession like that between the 2 of them, you've got to think something isn't right in Can Barca. Still, 30 minutes to go. 1 goal could change things. Just look how many white shirts there are behind the ball now, though.
Ball is over with Sergio Busquets. Busquets spreads it out to Dani Alves. Dani Alves works his way inside, and Pedro was left all alone, but it was an awkward ball in for him. Another look at the goal. A bit of class from Di Maria. Perhaps should have crossed it straight away to Cristiano Ronaldo. He'd left himself a very tight angle on Jose Manuel Pinto.
I think Puyol slipping made him think he had the opportunity himself to shoot. Either way, he had Higuain and Ronaldo there to mop it up, so no problem. It was a great run from Di Maria, and quite frankly, he's been the best player on the pitch tonight so far.
Ball's with Dani Alves for Football Club Barcelona. Intercepted by Sergio Ramos. Barcelona pressing high, but they're leaving themselves open, and Cristiano Ronaldo will feed off this. Pinto comes out.
He did really well there, Pinto, but he should get rid of it.
Well, Pinto may have over-egged the pudding, and he trips up as well on his way back. All of the 98,000 Barcelona fans Camp Nou hearts in her mouths at that moment. Here's Higuain. Higuain's left in space. He's got Ozil in the centre. Ozil will not reach it, but there's no player coming in over on the back post. Dani Alves can just jog out with this one. As David Villa waits off the last man, he waits to make his run. Makes it now. But Sergio Ramos intercepts off the ball from Pedro. Picked up by Villa, picked up by Pedro. Pedro goes down in the box.
Well, that's dreadful from Pedro. The referee's looking at it. He's never going to give that penalty. He wanted the penalty. He went down deliberately like a sack of potatoes. The moment he felt the lightest pressure. You know, show me the replay again, maybe I'm wrong, but from this angle, on the first view, that looks like a player diving for a penalty. If the referee doesn't give it, he should be getting the yellow card.
That will do Pedro no favours if that is the case. Barcelona chasing the game, but surely don't have to resort to gamesmanship. They're still in with a shot in this one. David Villa again, just waiting off the last man, as he did at the weekend. It almost appears as if he's moved into a more central role. Here is Messi. Messi looking to find PK of all people, who's up forward.
Well, there was some contact to give him his due from Coentrao, but it looks like Pedro's already starting to go down before the contact because he's struggling to keep up with the pace of the ball and with the pace of Coentrao. I've got no reason to change my mind about that. It's not a penalty.
Pedro takes the long stride into Coentrao to provoke the contact. And the referee, quite wisely, allows play to continue, says no foul. Ball is with Pedro. On to Dani Alves on the right. Alves to Pedro. A look up, Jordi Alba has moved forward. He may be an option for Andres Iniesta. Iniesta, no, wants it inside for Messi. Messi, the challenge from Rafael Varane. That's a couple of occasions now where he's been cool, calm and collected. And now Real Madrid go on the break. And that's a crossfield ball from Mesut Ozil, in which he perhaps could have done better. Tried to do it all and feed Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, but Real Madrid are just so incredibly comfortable out there right now. Quite happy to give the ball, the possession away to Barcelona, sit and wait. I know Barca can't hold on to the ball forever. Barca aren't quite on such brilliant form as we're used to seeing them. And Real Madrid, well, it's been 3, 4, 5, 6 counter-attacks now. They're not making them all pay, but they don't need to. They've got 2-0 up. And, well, time running out for Barcelona.
Balls with Xavi. Piqué has pushed forward. Piqué almost playing as a fourth striker at the moment, knowing that Madrid won't be coming at them with a slow build-up, but they will have to have players like Carlos Puyol, who's looking ever so isolated at the back on the break.
Well, Barcelona, if they're going to die with the boots on, that's for sure. They won't give up their ideals, and that ideal is never speculate. And, well, they've done some accumulating over the last few years. Tonight it's more of an accumulation of errors, really, unfortunately. But their mindset has to be 25 minutes still on the clock. We've got all our fans here now. Let's not let that be the final image or the lasting image of this semi-final. They've certainly got the talent. They're not quite hitting the spot, though, so far tonight. And, well, who knows, it could change. Maybe the introduction of Christian Teo might add a bit of power and pace down the flanks. They certainly need to try something.
Well, here is Jordi Alba on that left flank. He comes inside on Di Maria, tries to find Andres Iniesta. He cannot do so. Angel Di Maria will now break. Di Maria, and once again, Barcelona have a bit of vulnerability at the back.
Well, that was a brilliant challenge from Piqué, and that's his job, really. Take the ball cleanly like that and give his fellow defenders time to get back.
And Mesut Ozil has played it out off Piqué. It's going to be a Real Madrid corner from the near-hand side. Cesc Fabregas, the scorer of the opening goal in this Clásico at the Bernabeu. But a disappointing game for him this evening, as José Callejon is about to be brought on. A little bit of added pace, perhaps, from Jose Mourinho, if any was needed.
Yeah, again, he's probably going to find lots of open spaces from now on. As
a rising header!
There it is, it's Varane again.
Rafael Varane, just like he did in the first leg, gets a goal. This is a route. Rafael Varane goes over to embrace Jose Mourinho. Well, this perhaps one of the crowning moments of Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid career. Rafael Varane has really come into his own.
Yeah, that is absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to talk too much about the defending of the corner. The finish was great. Mourinho showing there just how delighted he is. That's a Cristiano Ronaldo leap, isn't it? He hangs in the air. He's, where is he? Just outside the 6-yard box. Nobody challenging him, really. Piqué makes a kind of half-hearted attempt. Varane's shown that he can do that against Barcelona previously this year. And, well, Barcelona now, not just against the ropes, but on their knees and wondering whether the referee should actually take pity on them and give them a technical knockout. They could lose really heavily here tonight. And it's not a good time for Barcelona, with the health problems of their coach Tito Villanova, with the doubts about Valdez. You've got to wonder, have they got anything to give in this last 20-odd minutes? If they have, they desperately need it. They've got the players, the talent out there. They have to try and find it from somewhere. Pull a goal back, show a bit of spirit. If they're not careful, more goals can fall here easily.
Just over 20 minutes to go. It's Football Club Barcelona 0, Real Madrid 3. A brace from Cristiano Ronaldo and a goal from Rafael Varane. Barcelona have to throw everything at Real Madrid. And Carlos Puyol with a disappointing cross there. Rafael Varane going over to celebrate with Jose Mourinho, who's had faith in Varane, had previously wanted to keep his progress slow and steady.
Well, he's totally justified Mourinho tonight. Absolutely brilliant. Look at the way he's telling his players to calm it down, to use their heads. This is a huge night for Real Madrid.
It would really be telling it. If Real Madrid could keep a clean sheet in this one, that would really be a statement of intent. Gonzalo Higuain, who hasn't made too much of an impact. He's only just recovered from flu that kept him out for most of the game against Deportivo La Coruña, in which he scored his 100th goal for Real Madrid. He comes off. It's going to be Callejon who comes on. A little bit more added pace for Barcelona.
And Thiago about to come on for Barca as well. Again, Teo as well. Maybe, in fact, Thiago was, although he'd got his kit on, he's actually just gone and sat down after that goal. Presumably Thiago, the man they thought might be able to create some more magic in midfield when there were just 2 goals to pull back. Now the 3, the explosive pace of Teo will be more relevant. That's certainly what's happened. Cristiano Ronaldo is beside himself with glee. He's been waiting a long time for this. So have Real Madrid. And you've got to say, Real Madrid fans everywhere, they deserve a night like this after a long time of suffering with Barca's hegemony. And, well, as Pedro goes off, it's been a really poor night for Pedro Rodriguez.
Well, Pedro, he's gone down a couple of times. Perhaps a penalty should have been given in the first half. Definitely not in the second. 12 shots apiece on goal. Real Madrid have made 3 of them count, Mo, and they are 3-0 up. Football Club Barcelona need a massive recovery in this. It is possible, but only just.
No, I mean, I think nobody thinks it's possible. What we need is to see Barca playing with a bit of pride. They've got 97,000 fans still chanting for them, still behind them. All they want is to see the spirit, to see 20 minutes of good football, and possibly for Barca to get 1 back. Then we'll talk about it. But 1 goal is what they need now, and here's Teo.
Here's Cristian Teo on the left-hand side. Teo pulls it back for Messi. Messi tries to jink his way into the box. Messi goes down again. No penalty given, and rightfully so, I think, from the referee. Absolutely. Is back out with Barcelona. Back out with Dani Alves. Alves is dispossessed, and Madrid again go on the break. And here's Cristiano Ronaldo at full full stretch, burst past Sergio Busquets. He's got no support. He makes for back heel, and all that work is undone because it goes to Dani Alves.
Well, there was a lot of controversy in Spain over the last couple of weeks because the Catalan public television made a video comparing Real Madrid and the way they treat Leo Messi on the pitch, comparing them with hyenas hunting carrion. Quite frankly, Real Madrid have got the scent of blood in their nostrils right now, and if Barca aren't careful here tonight, they can lose 5-0, and that's every Madrid supporter's dream. Not to talk about Mourinho's dream, how he would love to continue this humiliation.
Well, Thiago is about to come on for Football Club Barcelona. A yellow card is going to be produced. Christian Teo has come on. It's Xavi. Well, that more or less says that the game has been conceded by Jordi Alba. He brings on Thiago. As good a player he is, Xavi is the talisman in his 36th Clásico, and he's brought off with about 15 minutes remaining.
I agree with everything you're saying there, Duncan, but I have to say Xavi has been very, very, very poor this evening. I can't remember a coherent pass from him.
Pass into the middle. Sonny Khedira tries the pass to Mesut Ozil, and it's cut out at the back by Thiago. His first touch of the game. Here is Messi. Messi tries to play the ball. It gets a deflection. It goes over the top. And the challenge from Arbeloa to take it away from Teo.
Well, players like Arbeloa, Xabi Alonso feeling absolutely vindicated tonight. Messi a forlorn little look at the referee. Yes, there's contact from Alonso. No, it's not a penalty.
Here is Thiago. Thiago closing in on the box. Cohen Trauco is out to meet him. Callejon is almost working as a makeshift left back, doubling up with Cohen Trauco at the moment. Here's Iniesta. Iniesta opens up his body. The pass over the top. Iniesta's just crowded out there. And what will really be significant for Real Madrid, they've tried to beat Football Club Barcelona by defending and pegging back in previous Clásicos, and they've got caught out. This time they've played true to their strategy, and they're 3-0 up.
Yeah, but they're still defending very, very seriously now. We could do without seeing this by some idiots up there. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to say where that's come from until we can see it clearly, but no room for that in a football stadium. No, I was just going to say the opposite, really. What's surprising is that Madrid has still got 7 or 8 or 9 men behind the ball whenever Barca get in their half. Surely now's the time to let their more talented players loose and enjoy themselves a little bit.
Ball flipped up, and Andres Iniesta gets it back. It's with Leo Messi. They desperately want to deny Leo Messi a goal as well. We'll play to Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, you wonder what Milan will be thinking watching this tonight. They'll be rubbing their hands together, surely, because Barcelona have never looked like getting anywhere near Real Madrid tonight.
Well, you'd wonder what Sir Alex Ferguson is thinking watching in the stands, watching the Real Madrid.
I imagine he'll be very concerned indeed. It hasn't even been that fantastic a performance by Real Madrid. They've just been pragmatic, done what they had to do, taken their chances. They knew that their chances were going to come, and come they have done in droves.
Here is Leo Messi, lays it off to Teo. Teo, he made such an impact coming on as a substitute against Sevilla at the weekend. He's just been brought on. And that takes a deflection, it goes out. It's going to be a Barcelona corner.
Yeah, I insist, though, it's quite remarkable to me. You're 3-0 up. I don't think you need 10 men behind the ball. And, well, again, in a way, it's justification, vindication for Mourinho, isn't it?
Corner about to be taken from the near-hand side. It's sent in, it's headed out by Cristiano Ronaldo. Jordi Alba put under pressure. And it's back with Jose Manuel Pinto. Well, Barcelona, perhaps they were lucky to get through against Malaga in the two-legged tie. But against Real Madrid, it appears that their luck has run out, and there's going to be a Real Madrid substitution. I think Karim Benzema is going to come on. As you just pointed out, there seems to be 5 men back for Real Madrid. And they've got Alonso and Khedira protecting that and not bursting forward at all. They've got those 3 front players just surging forward when Madrid get the ball.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Mourinho's first visit to the Camp Nou as Madrid coach ended up, he was on the wrong end of a 5-0. This could possibly be his last visit to the Camp Nou with Madrid.
It's with Teo! A save from Diego Lopez, called into action infrequently in this second half, but he makes a critical stop there for pride for Real Madrid.
Yes, just offside there as well, isn't he, as Iniesta puts him through. And Jordi Rora. It's a really hard task for Jordi Rora, the man who, well, his task until not so long ago was to make the videos, really, wasn't it? And here he is, taking the heat in the Camp Nou.
Well, it's going to be another defensive player brought on. Pepe, surprisingly left out of the starting lineup, comes on for Mesut Ozil. Jose Mourinho is just going to defend this lead out. That
is an astonishing substitution. That is like Mourinho doing what they call a peineta to all the people watching this. You take off one of your most talented, creative players to bring on Pepe. All respect in the world to Pepe, but with, what, 12 minutes to go, 3-0 up? I think that's a terrible decision.
Well, the ball over to the left-hand side. Here's Callejon. First
Pepe will come and score 2 goals now, I've said that.
Callejon, the first time he's got forward, he's been more or less playing as a left-back since coming on as a substitute. Madrid's intentions are clear. They're going to defend this and push forward on the counter-attack.
And just try their absolute best to make sure Barcelona don't even pull 1 goal back, so they can bring in the humiliation factor. And fair enough, they've been humiliated themselves so many times over the last few years. And Mourinho, well, there's been a lot of talk about what his legacy at Madrid is going to be, and he'll be quite happy to say 3-0 in the Camp Nou in the semi-final of the Cup, and Barcelona absolutely unable to get anywhere near Diego Lopez. Having said that, 3-0 up with 10 men in your own half, Duncan, I do find it quite difficult to stomach.
Well, an ultra-conservative final 10 minutes to be played by Real Madrid, which is disappointing with the talent they've got on display. Barcelona will still try and go at them, but they haven't been on top form at all. Football Club Barcelona, they've suffered from a bit of a lack of variety. Here is Andres Iniesta.
There's a line of 6 along the penalty area now, 3 just in front of that. Cristiano Ronaldo 3 metres further ahead.
Well, Iniesta almost carves open that line of defenders. But as long as Madrid can keep hoofing the ball upfield and hope that maybe Cristiano Ronaldo, he might get on the end of them, he might not, but it will all run down time. 10 minutes to go at the Camp Nou. Football Club Barcelona 0, Real Madrid 3. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a brace, Rafael Varane adding a goal that's got Real Madrid very comfortable indeed. Headed forward, but a foul was given. Cristiano Ronaldo being knocked into by Thiago. Thiago leading with his arm, but more to protect his face than anything else. Referee takes no further action. It's going to be a free kick. And we've got a couple of players forward to Real Madrid, but there's hardly an abundance of white shirts in the Barcelona half. And we're all going to be jogging back to take up their positions. Pepe comes over. Pepe taken over by Iniesta. Pepe keeps control of the ball. There's a move forward by Callejon, but wasn't picked up.
Iniesta actually seemed to kind of charge into Pepe a little bit after the Portuguese centre-back had released the ball. A little bit like watching jelly thrown against a brick wall, wasn't it?
Well, there we have another look at the goal. Rafael Varane allowed to get in front of Piqué. Carlos Puyol was out of position to jump. And Rafael Varane's goal really the killer in this game. The 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo almost putting it beyond doubt, but Rafael Varane has really made an impact on Football Club Barcelona this evening.
Yeah, you just had to see the way the Madrid bench celebrated that third goal. The first goal, the second goal, the celebrations were a little bit held back because they still wanted to maintain their focus, keep the game plan going. The third goal, all of a sudden, it was, yeah, we're in the final. Yeah, we scored 3 in the Camp Nou. No wonder they're delighted. I mean, you can understand them not wanting to spoil the aesthetics of the 3-0 scoreline. And also, we know that they're quite capable of catching Barcelona a couple of times more in the remaining minutes on the back foot.
Of course, with Jordi Alba.
Well, nobody's covered himself in glory tonight for Barca, have they? Certainly for Real Madrid. It's been a work-a-day performance, really. No footballing lessons to anybody, simply how to be pragmatic, serious, and really make your rival pay for his mistakes and make him pay heavily. And Iniesta having a terrible time against Pepe.
Pepe makes the cross to Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got Puyol alongside him. Cristiano Ronaldo with the shot, which is parried out by Jose Manuel Pinto and out for a corner.
Well, Ronaldo has done brilliantly in the Clásicos of late, hasn't he? Especially in the Camp Nou. Going back, for example, to the Liga winning clash last season where his goal was so decisive, but I've never seen such a big smile on his face or such a spring in his step as I have tonight. And if he could get a hat-trick, well, who knows?
Well, Xabi Alonso comes off his final Real Madrid substitution. Michael Essien comes on. And we'll have this corner from the near-hand side. Xabi Alonso unavailable to take it. Essien takes a little jog upfield just to take in the scenery. It's going to be Callejon who takes it from the right. Real Madrid's third corner of this game. They've scored from one. It's headed out with authority by Gerard Piqué. It's just left by Callejon. No point in him chasing down lost causes.
Yeah, if you want to be cruel, you'd have to say that it's a shame Piqué didn't show a bit more authority early on in the Barca penalty area.
Well, Pepe coming on, and Pepe doing what Pepe normally does.
He really is an idiot. I'm sorry, that's the only word I can think of. He is an idiot. 3-0 up in the Camp Nou. Mourinho has done this, I think, to try and stir up exactly this kind of problem. He's smiling now. He deserves a card. He really does. For being idiotic. There's no need at 3-0 up. And, you know, he's... Look at that. Look at that.
Well, kicks are coming in from Pepe.
Yeah,
a dive after Sergio Busquets gives him a push, and this really has the potential to sour this occasion.
Well, yeah, it's take no prisoners time for Madrid. You can't blame them in a way. They've been humiliated for years now in these Clásicos. Starting under Mourinho as well, it was still the case. And I think players like Pepe just want to rub it in a little bit. He should get a card for that. No doubt whatsoever. And he should be, you know, severely criticised after the lessons Mourinho was giving Barcelona yesterday about not play diving and trying to get other players cautioned. Pepe should be ashamed of himself for that, but of course he won't be.
Here is Angel Di Maria. Di Maria taking on Jordi Alba. It comes to Michael Essien, his first touch of the game since coming on as a sub. Coming on for Xabi Alonso to see out the last 5 minutes or so of this game. Here's Iniesta. He's with Sergio Busquets. And now to Gerard Piqué. Barcelona looking to get a consolation goal. There's a trip up by Ramos on Messi, perhaps unintentional. We'd have to see the replay, but Messi goes down.
Well, not much attempt to play the ball there, I have to say. I'm not, as you can probably tell, Duncan, I'm no great lover of Mourinho's style of football, but I do feel a certain bit of pleasure, really, for certain players in this Madrid team, starting with Cristiano Ronaldo, Ozil and Di Maria, who I think thoroughly deserve to be enjoying the kind of sensations they're feeling now. But there are times when I want to say I don't think Pepe deserves to be on a football pitch.
Well, he's, of course, so much trouble in the Clásicos beforehand. He's picked up yellow cards in 11 of his 15 Clásicos, plus 1 red card.
Yeah, he got as many yellow cards last season as Leo Messi. which is, to me, the most extraordinary statistic of the whole of the Spanish league last year.
Oh, the ball passed back in the defence. Madrid are just going to see this one out. It's a comfortable win for them in the end. And it all came down to just who was having the best day, really, because Barcelona off colour. Real Madrid, we've seen them have bad games, none more so than against Deportivo La Coruña at the weekend. But they've managed to do the job this evening.
Oh yeah, there's been no doubt who's been the better side out there. Barcelona have been really, really poor. But, well, at least still trying to get something out of this.
Well, Messi finds David Villa. Here's Andres Iniesta. Gerard Piqué was right alongside it, perhaps in an offside position, but the ball rolls out to play. That perhaps why Gerard Piqué didn't stick his foot out for it.
Yeah, when it doesn't work out for you, it doesn't work out for you, and that's been the story of Barca's night. When we think about the kind of Barcelona play we're used to seeing over the last several years, how many of those sublime combinations have we seen tonight that have actually come off? Maybe one, and that was probably at the wrong end of the pitch. It's difficult to explain Barca's melancholy feel about them tonight. They haven't just rolled over, but they just haven't offered any kind of defence to their claim to be the best team in the world. On the evidence of tonight, they're not. I don't think Real Madrid are either. I think they're probably just about in the top 10, Real Madrid. Barcelona, well, it's their third really poor performance on the trot, counting Milan in the Champions and Sevilla in the league at the weekend. And now they have to go to the Bernabeu on Saturday. And, well, how does Roura get this team up for that? I don't know.
All over top, and Jordi Alba gets a consolation goal. A little bit of magic from Andres Iniesta, but it's too late for the Wizard. Jordi Alba in the right place at the right time. But it is certainly a case of too little, too late for Football Club Barcelona.
Yeah, I think it's relief that can be felt more than anything. We haven't been beaten 5-0, but you know and I know they could so easily have been beaten 5-0 tonight. As you say, magic from Iniesta. It's the one combination that's come off between the two, because Alba's ball pulled back to Iniesta was good, his run into the box was good, and for once Madrid, perhaps with a quite justifiable feeling of job well done, just relaxed their concentration for a moment, and well, doesn't make it any less convincing. The win maybe a little easier to take than 3-0 or even 4-0.
Here's Andres Iniesta, who's looking for Teo, couldn't get the pass off to him, and send into the middle. Sergio Ramos heads out. We're into the final minute of normal time. No real reason to add too much extra on, and I don't think any of the fans here at the Camp Nou will want any injury time added to this one. This has been rubbing insult into injury.
Unless David Villa pops up and scores another one in the next 20 seconds, in which case they might be asking for 10 minutes to be added on.
We'll pass to David Villa. Dani Alves being well marked by Callejon. Callejon moves over and switches his attention to Thiago. Cristiano Ronaldo nearly got through that with Sergio Busquets unleashing the ball over to the right-hand side. It's with David Villa. David Villa's back heel. Here's Callejon. Callejon knocks it into touch. And Real Madrid just taking their foot off the gas a little bit in the final moments of this game. Not finishing strong. Alves into the middle. Pepe heads out. Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo tries the old hit and run. Michael Essien will pick up the slack. Cristiano Ronaldo will go on the overlap, and Essien plays it off his backside. And that more or less the quality of some of the passing we've seen there tonight.
It hasn't been the greatest of Clásicos, has it? I mean, it's got the tension, the excitement, and tonight it's had the goals. And if you're one half of the viewing population who want Real Madrid to win. It must have been an extraordinary night. I can imagine some of the scenes, people watching this at home. The people with white scarves are going to be so thrilled, and you've got to feel happy for them, because it's been a long wait through the desert. They've done better of late. They've won certain games against Barcelona, but they haven't won any as easily as this. And, you know, all credit to them. They deserve a little bit of pleasure as well. But it hasn't been the highest of quality games tonight. And really, most of that is down to Barca performing so badly.
A little bit of afters again from Pepe as we move almost into the final minute of injury time. Jordi Alba on the ball. Jordi Alba, the scorer of the consolation goal here at the Camp Nou. As we have another look at the replay, it looks as if Leo Messi was actually onside. A tight angle for the referee's assistant to call, and Jose Mourinho heads down the tunnel as he so often does early on. And this time, I think he'll have a bit of a chuckle rather than have his head down.
Yeah, he's going to be delighted, and to be quite honest, Jose Mourinho deserves a win here with Real Madrid, especially tonight, because Barcelona haven't been able to offer anything, unless Alves, no, too late. No, thoroughly deserved tonight, and in a way, it was quite nice to see him there, greeting old friends from his time at Barcelona. And hopefully there'll be no shenanigans after this. Hopefully Barcelona will be able to take the defeat with the kind of humility that they should. And they need to be feeling pretty humble.
Well, the treble is certainly off for Football Club Barcelona. There will be no Copa del Rey victory in Tito Villanova's first season. Jose Mourinho still alive in the two cup competitions, which he'd pinpointed once the league had been conceded. That's the final whistle. The game ends. Football Club Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 3. A victory for Real Madrid, who go into the final to face either Sevilla or Atletico Madrid.
That's right, and certainly now a lot to play for tomorrow night in the Sanchez Pizjuan. Tonight a little bit disappointing in general, but no wonder Real Madrid delighted. Good to see the Barcelona players congratulating their biggest rivals. At the end of the day, Real Madrid thoroughly deserving the win, but as I say, Duncan, to my mind, the disappointing game in general tonight. There was only one team who was ever really in it from 13 minutes on, when Cristiano Ronaldo made and scored the penalty. Barcelona have to go back to the drawing board.
Well, they have another Clásico on Saturday at 4 p.m. local time. Barcelona will need to make amends in that game, but Real Madrid run out the winners. 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo, 1 from Rafael Varane, and a late consolation from Jordi Alba.
And the ground looking a bit dry. Maybe it's time for Barcelona to turn the sprinklers on. Good evening.
Perhaps it is. Good evening from everybody here in the commentary booth. We hope you've enjoyed the Clásico, and there's one more to come at the weekend. Look forward to that.
Thanks to our commentary duo from the new camp. Yeah, dynamic duo.
Have we got any time left?
4-2 it was on aggregate, and Real Madrid thoroughly deserved their win at the new camp. It was a comprehensive defensive display, but also counter-attacking masterclass by Los Merengues. So, David Zulic, how much did you enjoy this one?
Exactly, summed it up perfectly. Not only did they defend brilliantly and conceded very little, I guess, in clear-cut chances. I still thought Barcelona had plenty of opportunities there to get in behind, but Madrid's defending was amazing. But also then going forward in attack, Ronaldo was fantastic. Ozil was very good in the second half, and they just have this brilliant ability to counter-attack and do it at speed, and phenomenal. This was a clear penalty. As we discussed at half-time, and Ronaldo was on fire in that first half in particular. He was having a lot of shots, just so difficult to mark. When he's coming at you with speed and he's doing a couple step-overs, you know, really just very difficult there. And if you lunge in like that, there's always that chance you're going to give away a penalty. But fantastic display by Madrid, and haven't they wanted this for so long? It's been Barcelona have constantly been on top in recent years, and for Real Madrid and all their fans, a wonderful day for them.
Okay, and this is Cristiano Ronaldo's 9th goal in 8 Clásicos, his last 8, so it's been a remarkable performance. We remember the heavy defeats they suffered a couple of years back, Foz. What's the big difference between this Real Madrid side, their approach to Barcelona and indeed Barcelona?
I think they've learnt a lot. For instance, their defending is largely about the way that Barcelona attack. So you see there's a beautiful header. This Varane has been absolutely brilliant. Only 19 years of age, of course, scored in the first leg as well. And has just been a tremendous acquisition, a huge future for him. For them, they're defending of the runs, you know, of the penetrating passes, you know, tracking players. You know, they've got a much better understanding of how Barcelona attack than what they did a couple of years ago. I think in 2009, Barca put 6 past them and then 5-0 the following year, and so much has changed since then. For Barca, they're not at their best. But what I think it shows, to me anyway, I love to see... I thought it was a magnificent game. The commentators seem to have pretty high standards, but I thought it was just a wonderful contest of 2 contrasting styles. But Barca, if they're 10% off against this Madrid, you're in trouble.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. It has whet,
pleasure.
Whet the appetite, hasn't it, for next week?
Yeah, great morning.
We'll catch you soon. A quick reminder of some of the top football action coming your way over the next week. Our live coverage of the English Premier League continues on SBS Radio this weekend. Norwich and Liverpool are on the road, and we'll also bring you the much anticipated North London derby. Head to sbs.com.au/radio for full schedule details. On the World Game this Monday, we bring you all the latest from the A-League, the Mariners' opening Asian Champions League match, and of course Europe's top leagues. That's 9:30 p.m. SBS 2, 11 p.m. on SBS 1 and streamed online as well. Of course, you can catch all the action from the world's premier club competition right here on SBS. The UEFA Champions League round of 16 second legs kick off next Wednesday when Manchester United entertains Real Madrid. That's a big one. PSG at home to Valencia 24 hours later. Both matches live on SBS 1 and HD from 6:30 a.m. Eastern. As always, for all the reaction and highlights from this morning's match and for all the latest news ahead of next week's UEFA Champions League matches, head to our website sbs.com.au/The World Game. That's all we have time for. Thanks for your company this morning from the team and The World Game. It's bye for now.